I started to paint actually when I came in the city because I feel that there was so much dead space, like really like gray and I was like, oh, where's nature and life? So I began to paint stories and life and kind to be grateful or thankful for that. Aisha, it was really because it means like the one who is alive, and I always feel it was something for me to always giving thanks to life. So maybe something I would say that I am. It's I'm really alive. I think my colors, I always been somebody super colorful, and sometimes even so I did commission, for example, for some people, and they would say, "Oh, it's too colorful," but for me, I don't see it as colorful, and I think it's the way I see life. That's really, it's not like an imaginary color. It's that when I go outside, I see things alive like that. You know, I really love to study about like different ancestral culture, like everywhere around the world, and to see the connection between it. Before it was something normal to have all just about your clothes and everything had a meaning. Like all the jewelry, clothes, it was so colorful and alive, and I'm like, oh my god, there's something about killing that spirit. I think something I would say about just the murals in Montreal, I could compare, for example, when I live in Brazil. In Brazil, because of the politics and there's a lot of segregation, so there's a lot of communities where the government is not there with services and stuff, so it's mostly people organizing themselves, so there's a lot of freedom about people give their space, their house, there's not that much law. And something that is a little bit sometimes difficult here that I think that's why I'm traveling a lot. It's that there's, first of all, there's the cold, so there's 6 months of the year you cannot paint outside. Like just we made a mural for a missing and murdered Aboriginal last spring, and it's already some guys put their name on it and big in down. And I understand it's on Saint Lawrence Street, and some people did just, it's part of their path, like they write their name, and that's good. But I'm like, oh, it's hard to protect murals in a way. Like you do it and you don't know what's going to happen because it's part of the urban space. So I mean, you have to keep your mind open and accept that, because if not, just do something and put it in a museum and it stay protect. But I think in the street you have to be aware that something could happen. I started to be interested in mural, it's really started when I was younger. I was really appealed by graffiti because I was living in a small town in the countryside, and they were trained from New York coming like every week, and that's how I discovered. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome, you know, like all these things in movement. And I always have this attachment with graffiti, not necessarily as I never write my name or do that, but I always been close to the hip hop like culture and how the vision to keep. This is something really precious for me, that I stay linked with the hip hop vision, like the graffiti as an element of that, and it's like, you know, to keep the knowledge and movement, like to bring people together in some communities or even with some youth. It's like sometimes just with our teacher gonna say you don't have talents, and some people gonna be so afraid to take back just brushes, like low confidence. So I would say I don't know if I have the power to push somebody to paint, but at least I want to transmit, have the confidence to do what you feel you need to do. Art has this power of creating this connection and of sharing knowledge, but sometimes even the mural doesn't represent at all like the 2 weeks of sharing, because it's so huge. So sometimes I feel I learn more than what even the mural can express, and I like to share to build the esteem. always feel in Montreal about the urban art. Like in Brazil, there would be like every week some. It was called like mutirão. It's like everybody would go in a community, and like all day, all afternoon, people would paint all the house, and everybody bring their own paint, and it's like people that lives there are gonna bring food, and it's like just this sense of community, and it's not something really. It exists here between friends that playing and stuff, but there I feel it's more individual. Like I would say my part that I I want to contribute in the urban art is the lack of nature. It's like I really feel like every time I want to paint in a city, I want to paint like animals or I want to paint stories and like I want to show there is life, and vibrant colors because the rhythm in the city is not the same rhythm as a smaller community or remote communities. And I would say that when you put urban art, it changed the rhythm of people. They're gonna like stop and it's like being in appreciation and it's like okay, it's just like you don't just go to work, sleep, and so you take the time to think about something. I realize I have very difficulty to paint small. Like it's really a struggle. I feel like just me myself when I'm in nature or I'm in the world. I feel like we're so small. It's like there's all the universe and like the greatness of like all the people and nature. So sometimes when I paint, I think maybe that's why like I like to feel small and so you can like enter in the world like as stories. I feel so alive when I paint. I'm like, oh my god, I know that even if I would take another job, if there's an opportunity to feel the same feeling you have when you're on a project, it's like a flame. It's like it brings you so much about not just like the money or the result. It's like you grow, you learn, you meet people. There's things that people don't see. It's not about only money. It's like you can do something and it's part of yourself. It's an expression. So some people, I see art as a healing too. Like it's me. When I have a headache, I don't take Advil. I just draw. It's like it's powerful and then you can adapt it in your life. I believe that everywhere I would be in the world, I would do the same. It's like something that is really precious to me is okay, there's so many way of life and what kind of way of life can honor like all the living things like the territory, what like life.